Hello there again, everyone. Welcome back to the News Project Live on GNAT-TV or GNAT-TV's Facebook page. Uh, Today's Friday, October 30th. I'm Andrew McKeever, the news director at GNAT-TV's News Project, and it's a pleasure to be with you again today just to give you a brief summary of some of the major stories that are going on this week that we're following or will be following. Um, the main news, of course, is that tomorrow is Halloween, and going to be a bit of a different Halloween than we've been used to in the past. But I'm sure there'll still be plenty of opportunity for trick-or-treating fun. And one of the places that you might want to think about dropping by if you're kind of stymied for what to do would be the the Arlington Lions Club's haunted happenings at the Arlington Rec Park. They're going to be, they have a Halloween display set up there from now until October 31st. That's tomorrow, of course. And they're handing out trick-or-treat bags and collecting non-perishable food items for the Arlington Food Shelf from 4 to 7 on Halloween evening. So sounds like a great combo of fun and doing good stuff. So one option for you there if you're kind of thinking about, what are we going to do this year? To make that as enjoyable as it should be. Anyway, moving on from that, the governor's press conference, this twice a week press conference that he holds on Tuesdays and Fridays, just ended. Basically, the update there was kind of what you'd expect. There were upticks and spikes of new cases in Vermont as well as around the nation of COVID-19 cases, and governor went to some length to say, hey, we've worked very hard for the past 7 months or so. We've done well. We can't afford to let our foot off the gas pedal now. Pandemic fatigue is a real thing. Everyone's probably had enough of all of this, but we still got a little bit of ways to go here to get through this. So keep wearing those face masks. Avoid large gatherings. That's something that's obviously going to be a bigger deal going forward as we enter the holiday season with Thanksgiving and Christmas. Not only for just family gatherings, but if you're traveling or thinking of traveling, really it might be worthwhile checking out that travel map that's on the Agency of Commerce and Community Development's website. If you've been following it, you've seen the growth of the red counties surrounding Vermont, and it also kind of applies to people who are maybe coming to visit you from those areas. Technically speaking, they should be quarantining, and that would apply, for instance, to college students who might be returning home for Thanksgiving. So there's a lot to think about, but we really don't want to go back to a lockdown or shutdown of the economy or shutting down schools again, like we went through in March, April, May, and June. So, like I kept on saying, keep wearing those masks, stay 6 feet apart, and wash your hands. Um, Meanwhile, an election is just sort of finally around the corner. I did the math a little while ago before we went on air. We're about 90 hours away from when voting starts on Tuesday, November 3rd, or at least in-person voting. A lot of you have already cast your ballots. Over 220,000 Vermonters have already mailed in or dropped off ballots at their town clerk's office. That's getting close to, well, we're well on track anyway to surpass the all-time record of voting. That was about 325,000 votes that were cast in the 2008 election. And last in 2016, 320. So we're already at 220,000 mark. So, that's great. This is obviously an important election, and more people who vote, the better. Um, the one thing, obviously, at this point, it's probably too late to mail in your ballots. If you're still one of those undecided voters and you were kind of waiting to the last minute, you need to take it in person now at this point to your town clerk's office, either sometime between now and Tuesday, or you can go over there on Tuesday, drop it off, or in a secure voter drop-off box if one's available. Um, or you can always just go and vote the old-fashioned way, in person at the polling place on Tuesday. But I guess the encouragement has been if you can vote early, that does alleviate a little bit of the pressure on the poll workers, the town clerks. So something to consider anyway. Um, Speaking of the election, here on GNAT, we're going to be doing a special live show beginning at 8 p.m. On Tuesday, November 3rd. We have a really interesting program, I think, lined up for you all. We'll have a panel of local folks to analyze and discuss and update the results as they come in. We're really pleased to have Manchester Town Manager John O'Keefe, former State Representative Jeff Wilson, and Cherise Forbes, who now reports for the Chester Telegraph. You may remember her from her work at the Manchester Journal and Bennington Banner. Um, Three of them will join me, and we'll be kind of following the results and trying to make sense of it all for you as we go through the evening. But really, the fun part's going to come in when we have some special guests. We're hoping to have former Governor James Douglas as one of our guests, and also some of the candidates, as well as a few other folks who, shall we say, follow politics closely throughout the year. Um, and the main highlight, I think, is going to be our 7-member student panel. We've got 7 students from area high schools, from Burn Burton Academy, from Long Trail School, and Arlington Memorial High School will be joining us. We're figuring from 8:30 to 9. They're going to give us their perspective on what some of the issues were that were important to them, that are important to them, looking forward as the next generation of voters. And so I think it'll be really fascinating for all of us to hear from them as to what's on their minds as we go forward into what's clearly an extremely significant election. So anyway, mark your calendars for that. And then you can get back to watch the major networks and find out what happened in Florida and Pennsylvania and Iowa and wherever else. Um, Turning back to some local news, the Manchester Select Board announced that they've filled the empty seat in their board that was created when longtime member Wayne Bell stepped down. I guess it was back in September. Um, they have appointed Heidi Chamberlain to fill that spot on the seat. She will fill out the remainder of Mr. Bell's term. So it's about 5 months or so to run until March town meeting. And then she may well decide to be a candidate for it for the full-time appointment there. There will be 2 seats on the Manchester Select Board in play. So she may be one of the candidates or may not be. And in any event, there's 2 seats that'll be up for grabs come next March. Moving back up to the state level, the UVM Medical Center got into the news this week, once in a very positive way. On Tuesday at the governor's press conference earlier this week, he announced that the UVM Medical Center had been selected to be one of the sites for the 3rd phase of testing for a coronavirus vaccine, the one that's being developed by the pharmaceutical firm AstraZeneca. So that's going to be pretty a real feather in their cap there. The university will be recruiting 250 volunteers to participate in the study. That'll prioritize Vermonters who are over the age of 65 and frontline workers and people with pre-existing conditions, as well as racial and ethnic groups that have been disproportionately affected by COVID. 1/3 of the participants will receive a placebo, and the other 2 will receive the vaccine. There are 4 vaccines altogether that are now in phase 3 trials, and that's the last stage before an approval by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration that would make it then available to the general public. So that was exciting. But then on Wednesday, it was announced that the medical center had been the victim and target of a wide-ranging computer hack that the FBI is investigating. The cyber attack caused a shutdown of the health network's online systems, and I guess as of yesterday, the perpetrator still hadn't been identified, but they shut down the electronic health record system and its patient portal. So that created some issues and difficulties for patients up there. The UVM Medical Center apparently was not the only medical center that was the target of a ransomware attack, as apparently was. Several other hospitals around the nation were, and just a very unfortunate situation, and really not very nice at this point in time, given everything that is going on with the hospitals and the pressure that those hospitals are under. Again, as we see a reemergence of the COVID-19 positive cases. Just one other note here before we get too late here. Just wanted to mention that the Agency of Commerce and Community Development and the State Department of Taxes have an additional $76 million that they can allocate to businesses for expanded economic recovery grants. It's no longer a first come, first served basis as it was earlier this year, but the application period grants will be made and awarded to eligible businesses. There's two routes you can apply, as I was saying, through the Department of Taxes, through its My VT tax portal. Until today is the last day. If your business, let's see, I just want to make sure I get this straight here. If a substantial amount of your business's sales are subject to the sales and use or rooms and meals taxes, you go through the Department of Taxes portal. If you're a new business, a sole proprietor, or your business's sales are not subject to the sales and use or rooms and meals tax, you would go through the Agency of Commerce and Community Development portal, and there you have a little more time. I believe you have until Monday, November 9th, if you are eligible to file through the ACCD portal. But if you're, like I said, if you're a business that relies or takes in rooms and meals or sales and use taxes, you need to go through the Department of Taxes, and you only have a few more hours left to do that. So if you haven't, it's an opportunity to get some money to kind of offset some of the sales that you may not have gotten over the summer. Okay, well, we'll leave it there for today. Again, we'll be back next week with election results. And again, tune in if you can around 8 o'clock or so here on GNAT for a live stream production of Election Night Live. We'll be live streaming through the website, on Facebook, on our TV channels. And I'm looking forward to it. It should all be pretty interesting. So, have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe, happy Halloween, and we'll see you next week. Take care.